All right. Hello, rich friends. I hope that everyone is doing great. Do me a favor, as I always say and do, make sure you can hear me by putting a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. Want to make sure that audio is going through very well, and then we're going to get into some great information. How about that? We're going to get into some great information. So let's make sure you can hear. Put a 1 in the comments. I want to make sure we got that set. Okay. All right, let's make sure. Yep. Okay, good. All right, so let's talk, rich friends. As you know, I am Candace, your revenue growth strategist, always showing you how to grow your revenue without using your labor. And today we're going to talk about the $2,000 stimulus checks. Yeah, let's talk about that. So first of all, the last video, of course, was talking about the $600 stimulus checks that, let's be clear, the relief bill that's being passed is not just stimulus checks, but that was the conversation that we had. That video was done. Make sure if you need details on that, you look at the previous video. Now, during this timeline, there's been a ton of things that's happened, and I just want to give you the juicy details about the most important thing that's probably going to relate, there we go, to you. So let's talk about that. So $2,000 stimulus checks were passed by the House of Representatives. Now, don't get too excited. Let's talk about this and what this means. Now, the thresholds on income, those things are still the same. $75,000 annually for a single person. That's a phase out on that as well, and $150,000 for married, filing joint. This is based on your 2019 tax return. Okay, if you have not filed your 2019 tax return or any previous returns, contact Performance Tax Group. Of course, we'd love to assist you. Okay, sidebar. All right, here we go. So with that in mind, all right, those are the thresholds. All that information is the same. There's a few different things though that's related to this stimulus package that they're putting into place that was just passed by the House of Representatives. Now, the difference is in the previous bill, under that relief bill, dependents were not included if you were above the age of 17. So 17 and older, it was not included. Well, guess what? In this new bill that they're passing on the amendment and all this stuff, the changes, what they're saying is dependents, regardless of your age, will be included. This is awesome, right? Make sure you put this in the comments because somebody's going to miss this. Don't miss this. Dependents, let's be clear. All dependents, make sure you capitalize the ALL, okay? All dependents are going to be included into the stimulus package. So let's say you're a college student, your parents carried you because of course they're still taking care of you. You were normally in the old packages, you were not included and you were kind of skipped out on, which was unfair, right? Just like, oh, I need money too. I know, man, I was a broke college student before, it's okay. But here we go. In the new package under the amendment, the one that's just been passed, they're saying $2,000 for the individual taxpayer and $2,000 per dependent on that return. This is huge, right? It's huge because what they're doing is they're wanting to stimulate the economy. They're saying, hey, people are behind on their bills. They're struggling. It's not their fault that COVID is going on and that this pandemic is here. Well, guess what? Let's stimulate the economy. Let's make sure they can do what they need to do. Give them more money. And that's what happened. That's what happened. The House has passed this bill, or this amendment to the current relief bill. But let's be clear, it's not over. What happens next? Well, the House has passed the current amendment, but it now has to go to the Senate. And that's where I'll just say the finalization would have to happen there. So, we hope that Mitch McConnell brings it up, right? Hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours before the new year comes in, we want him to bring it up so that they can vote on this actual portion to say, hey, give the people more money. That's what we want. But let's just be clear, nothing is set in stone yet. The first step has happened, which is great. These are good things happening, but we will know, and I will update you as soon as it either happens or does not happen. Let's talk about a couple of things though. The U.S. Treasury has started the process of sending out the $600 stimulus checks. So if you had direct deposit with your with your tax return, you had direct deposit, or your previous stimulus check was given direct deposit, that information is still on file. If those accounts are still set up, and they aren't closed, guess what? That money, we're talking like early next week. We're talking next week with it being coming through for direct deposit. The checks and things like that will be another week or so after the initial direct deposits come through. Now, just a side note, if you needed, let's say your information on file is not the same, they're going to reject your direct deposit and then send it back to the government and then mail you a check. Now that will take a little longer, but hey, there's nothing you can do about it at this time that will be able to change that, because actually the systems and stuff aren't even up, right? Honestly, the IRS and those people, they're not really working right now. So it's so much going on. Be graceful, it's on the way. And just another thing. So checks are on the way. That's happening. We're hoping that the $2,000 stimulus also comes. So it will be the $600 if you receive that before they pass this other stuff. It will be $600, and then of course the difference there. But let's just be clear. It's more than what you had. So here is my piece. Okay. Now we know that we're living in unprecedented times. This is honestly like no other time that any of us have lived in. We know that. But I'm going to tell you this. Don't just rely on the government to support you. Like, I promise it's tough. Everything's tough right now, but we may have to get creative during these times. Make sure you show up for your own rescue and don't wait on the government. If they give us some funds, all right, if they're giving us funds, let that be your extra. Don't just sit around saying, oh, when the check don't come, let it be extra, right? If you need to go sell something, get you a business, put that in the chat. Get a business. If you don't have a business, you need one. We'll talk about that in another video. But put it in the comments right there after you subscribe, because you may be on my YouTube channel. YouTube channel is Candace Woodruff. Make sure you subscribe, do that. But if you have not, put in the chat, get a business, because that's so important. That'll be something that will remind me of us talking again later. But let's finish up, okay? The important part is to make sure that you do something for yourself and not just rely on the government to take care of us. That's not our intent. God woke you up this morning. That means he's giving us another chance to make some things happen. Now, we want the extra. Don't get me twisted. We want the extra that the government is going to provide, and all the stimulus is their, I ain't gonna say it's their fault. Let me take that back. It's not our fault. There we go. That this is happening to the American people, that people are dying because of this pandemic. That's not our fault. And if they give us some extra, great. Now, with them doing that, have a plan. That's my second piece, and I'm almost done. Here we go. Have a plan with your funds. If you know that 600 is on the way, what do you need to do with that 600? Do you need to pay some debt off? Do you need to invest? Do you need to, just take care of your regular expenses? Fine. Have a plan, because the money's on the way. If it's 2,000, have even more of a plan, right? Because the money's on the way. You just have to make sure that you're doing your part as we pray that the government does what's best for the people. Lord, let them do what's best for the people. That's what we want. But just know, things are happening. Things are on the way. We're in a good foot. I'm going to give you another update as soon as we know if the Senate passes the $2,000 stimulus checks. Just recap real quick. We're talking $2,000 stimuluses for the individual as well as the dependent. There's no cap on the dependent, on the ages like it was before. It doesn't matter your age. If you're a dependent, everyone is getting the stimulus, is what they're wanting and passing for. The House has passed it, but the Senate is now going to have to bring it up in the meeting and vote on this happening. Now, there's a whole lot of other stuff I can say, but I'm not. I'm going to just give you this update really quickly, and I'll let you know what happens with the Senate whenever it happens. All right. So let's keep it in our prayers. Make sure you have a plan with that money, and we'll see you on the next video. And of course, always seeing you at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. I'm Candace, your revenue growth strategist, always teaching you how to grow your revenue without using your labor. This is your quick update on the $2,000 stimulus package. Have a great one. I'll talk to you soon.